Every year at the Six Invitational, there's always been at least one Asia-Pacific team that's managed to make a decent run into playoffs, and it feels like as the years have gone by, Asia-Pacific as a region has just gotten better and better. Even if they are still far from winning a world championship, somebody always gives them hope. So the question is, does that team exist at SI 2023? Yes? But to be honest, there's probably only one. APAC is sending 3 teams to SI this year: CYCLOPS, Direwolves, and Elevate. It's the fewest teams from the region that have ever qualified since 2019 when it was Fnatic, Norarango, and Mantis, and the fewest that will attend since 2021 because that was the year Wildcard was supposed to go and then Australia went, nope, you're staying here, fuck you! And of these 3 teams, one of them will more than likely be competing to win their group, and the other 2 are realistically going to be points fodder for their opponents. If you're a Japanese or a Taiwanese fan this year, I'm sorry. If you're a Korean fan, doubly sorry because none of your teams even made it this year. If you're an OS fan, at least you still have Virtue. Elevate is the team with the best shot this year by a pretty wide margin. They tied Damwon for the furthest advancing APAC squad last year, qualified for the first 2 majors of the year, including a quarterfinals appearance at Berlin that was literally 2 rounds away from beating W7M and going to semis. Their end of the year wasn't as hot, but they got some different perspective being coached by Laxing in Stage 3, and they round out the year as the 15th best team in the world. Though I would argue they probably should be higher. There's no roster move to be concerned about because everybody they picked up last year was easily a net upgrade. Their attacking and defending statistics are easily competitive with the rest of the world. Like, let me put it this way. There is no reason that this team should not be competing with whoever is in their group and playing it to win. Going further than that is something that they haven't really done that much of, but Elevate strikes me as a team that everyone is either going to underestimate and they're going to make a deeper run than anybody expected, or they're going to get in their own heads and crack before they can find solid footing. It's either going to be one or the other in my opinion. So if you're an APAC fan, I'd highly recommend putting all of your eggs into this basket. Because the other 2 baskets, I don't think I have any hopes for this year. CYCLOPS have never qualified for the playoffs of any international event they've ever attended, ever. Major, SI, doesn't matter. They've gotten smoked in groups every time. They didn't win a series at Invite last year. They won 1 at the Charlotte Major and 2 at the Yangshiping Major. So technically they got better with time, at least. Technically, they've always been capable of making noise domestically, so within the confines of APAC North, they don't look too bad, but the real comparison is internationally, and that has never picked up. In fact, it's never recovered from that time when Team 1 beat them in the tiebreaker in Mexico. They're ranked number 16 in the world with SI points, which I think actually ties them with the amount of points Elevate has. I don't know about that one, Chief. The other reason I don't expect them to do that well comes down to their roster move. They didn't make any changes for 3 years straight, and now they do, just before the biggest tournament of the year. Hello, Arcully, it's trial by fire time. He's a freshly minted 18-year-old, played all of Japan League last year, and currently holds a 1.11 lifetime rating playing mostly frag operators, which kind of makes it look like CYCLOPS is trying to cash in on the young gunner trend that took most of the world by storm last year, which to be fair is not a bad resume, but CAG's entire situation doesn't give me any hope that they'll turn their fortunes around for this event. The other team left is Direwolves, who, I'll be real, I'm very surprised to see them here. It feels like they had a pretty good year by APAC standards, but them making it to SI at all is pretty crazy considering the path they had last year. Undefeated in Stage 1 of APAC South, but then got grouped in Charlotte, and then fell off pretty badly in Stage 2. Then they move Harambe to Analyst and pick up Reaps, and go undefeated again in Stage 3, and this time when they get grouped in Yangshiping, it feels like it still gets everyone's hopes up because there's a lot of potential there and there's people who all of a sudden are paying a lot more attention to this team because Reaps is on it. It looks like there's something solid. Then they lose both ED and Reaps and move Harambe back in and have to pick up an ex-teammate to fill the roster spots. After that kind of year, for it to end that way, I think a lot of people assumed they were done for. But they won the APAC closed qual. They went undefeated for 2 stages last year. They made 2 majors last year. They're going to their first SI. Credits due there, that's cool, but they're just not a sleeper pick in my eyes. Not to be that guy, but they could very well be the weakest team in this tourney. Them or whoever won the EU qualifier yesterday. It's a toss-up. Bottom line, no matter how you slice it, it just doesn't really look good for APAC this year. Maybe if Sandbox had qualified with their newer team, they'd have a better shot, but they're still getting their act together. DK is rebuilding. Fnatic still isn't good. OS is mostly dead. You send who you have, I suppose, but it's already looking like a try again next year sort of moment unless Elevate can pull something decent together. I hate to be a pessimist. I want this region to do good, but just from this contingent that they're sending, I don't think it's going to happen this year. What do you think that Elevate, CAG, and DW are going to place this year? Do you think any of them have a better shot than I gave them credit for? Do you think they're all doomed somewhere in between? Let me know in the comments, and be on the lookout for the other region breakdowns and stuff coming this week, because it's looking like we're about to upload every single day until SI starts. I really hope the algorithm doesn't make me waste all this effort for nothing. So please like the video, do all the algorithmic doodads that help us out, and hit up my Twitter, my Twitch, and this YouTube channel for more in the coming days. Please and thank you. I will see you later.